All right. So the first card that I drew in your reading is the Eight of Swords in reverse. And so this is how it normally comes up. And as you can see, this particular deck, by the way, calls it the Eight of Themes, but it is in traditional tarot the Eight of Swords. And as you can see, she's tied up. She has the bandana over her eyes, so she feels like she can't move. Remember, these are the sword cards. So this is about our thinking. It's about our thinking. It's not what's really going on, but it is about what, our thoughts. And a lot of times it's negative thoughts, of course, especially with that Eight of Swords. And so traditionally in the upright position, this card is, about taking off the blinders, staying the course, take no action for now, and that, your goals will come to fruition. In reverse, it's self-imposed restrictions. So it might be you thinking, negative beliefs that is this right for me? You're holding yourself back from moving forward in a situation, and this could be at work, or this could be in a relationship or a friendship. But it is about self-imposing restrictions. And it does also, with this card, comes up as guarding against hasty actions. So if you are thinking about a new venture or anything that's going to take some money and time, this card in reverse is saying, you're on the right course, stay the course, but don't make any impulsive decisions. Think it out. Think it out. I said a minute ago with this particular card, it's self-imposed restrictions. So it sort of reminds me of the Five of Cups, where she's pouring out wine, and she's I'm saying she because usually it's depicted as a woman. But anyway, it could be he. But anyway, she's pouring out 3 cups and really focusing on the spilt milk, if you will, where she has 2 cups that are full. And so I call that the stinking thinking card. And you could almost call this Eight of Swords in reverse a little bit of the same thing, stinking thinking, because this is self-imposed restrictions. So I would just encourage you, any of you Scorpios that are going through this, of course, this is a general reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Watch your Moon and Rising signs. But if you have been holding yourself back or wondering if, you are good enough, I don't know why that keeps coming up. Just negative beliefs. Negative beliefs come in the form of different ways. I'm not good enough. I don't know if I can do this. What do others think of me? I studied those 8 or 10 years ago, and it usually starts at the age of anywhere from 4 to 7 that someone in authority said or something negative. And that's such a vulnerable age that if someone at that age, they're an authority, and they say something that sort of stops us in our tracks, then we continue with that thought pattern. So it's something that happens with almost everyone to a different degree, of course. But just during this time period, let yourself relax. Let yourself, know that you're doing great. You're doing good. And let yourself in the flow of moving forward. Even if you don't, just sort of take off those blinders easily, energetically. And I think those self-imposed restrictions, let yourself look at the situation, whatever it might be, in a different light. Come from another angle. Come from a fire sign angle. Come from, they're very much about I can do it. Or come from an air sign. No, because this is swords, don't do that. Or a water sign. I would come from a fire sign point of view of this is going to happen for me. I can do this. I can make things happen how I want them to. It's just, let yourself be in the flow. That's all. The next card that comes up is the Three of Cups. And this is talking about cups. This is Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. And this is about our emotions, of course. This card usually signifies to me about celebrations, graduations, weddings, births of babies, or of a baby. And I said babies there, so I'm just wondering if anyone's having twins or anyone that knows someone that's having twins. Because I all of a sudden saw multiple babies. Or maybe it's triplets or quadruplets. I don't know why that's coming up, but you may know someone, or maybe you, or that's celebrating little ones being born. But it is a celebration card, and I'm glad to see that in the midst of this, because it feels like if you do take this blinders off and you allow yourself to feel happy and whole and excited with life and be in the present moment and not in your head too much, that there is cause for celebration. When I look at this card, I'm mostly seeing, every time I look at it, I look at which woman is standing out to me. Oftentimes it's the one on the right with the leather belt. But this time I am noticing the one in the middle with the orange dress on. So it could be about, orange is second chakra. That's our creative feminine intuition. You all have that by the spades. You're a water sign. So I would just encourage you to, you could even purchase an orange crystal, a small one, like orange calcite. I know for me, I worked an event this past weekend, and the woman next to me does pranic healing, and she was working on my second chakra, and it just, for women and our different cycles of life, it really is important. So I don't know why this information is coming up out of this card, but you never know. So if you're going through different stages of, and sorry guys, but if you're a woman and you're going through different stages of premenopause or periods or whatever the case may be, I feel like it's very much a part of your life. So any of you women, that second chakra stuff, that's right, that's about 5 inches below the belly button, is where babies are born. Again, here we go with babies. But just, take care of that. Sometimes just dancing or movement, yoga, swaying will help that second chakra. But again, any type of orange crystal, wish I had one with me right now. I have this orange candle. How about that? It smells great. So I'm going to have that with us here. So that's a benefit. Okay, and it could be a celebration, but I'm just saying it's very feminine to me for you guys, for you all, for this particular card, for this particular month. And then the Nine of Swords comes up, and I can't tell you how many times this card has come up in the December mid-months and the December beginning of the months. It's amazing. Sometimes it comes up in reverse, but it comes up quite a bit. So the wands, of course, are about our work, the work that we do, our creative inspiration. And this denotes someone who is secure in their position, but they're not feeling it. They're protective, they're guarded. And as you can see, he has everything he needs. Hold it up. He has everything he needs. He has his house behind him with the thatched roof, and the sunlight is glowing on it. There's purple flowers to the left of him, to the left of his right shoulder. And so that denotes intuitive abilities. He hasn't come this far for Nava. There is, to the right of the card, there's obviously a little guide, a little angel, a little spirit guide that's giving him messages. But he does feel very protective. So some of you, if you are, some of you might be feeling like your job is at stake, or that it could be a couple things, that your job is at stake, that you're not sure if it's secure, and you're being very protective of what you do. You're feeling protective. You are protective, or you're, safeguarding your files and all. Yeah, it could be that. I was going to say something else about this. It could be about you safeguarding. It could be about you're wanting to move forward, but there's people that you feel are in your way, or you're just being very protective of what's going on in your work. Let me read you a couple of the definitions for this card. Actually, yeah, I mean, it is about job security, but you're defensive about it. And the desire is to take responsibility for the work completed with, and succeed without interference from coworkers. So it might be too that you are in a job and you're just wanting to do it and you don't want anyone to bother you. You're just like, people are in your way, or maybe you're not in this celebratory mood at the particular moment and you're wanting to just do your work, go on vacation, take a break, and don't want others around you. So when I look at the card, I'm really just noticing this little spirit guide here, this little angelic being. And so again, for you all to take note of any intuitive hits you get, go with your gut, go with what you know is true. You're a water sign, of course, so your emotions guide you. And when I look at this card too, in conjunction with this one, yeah, I just keep getting that whatever situations are going on in your life, to stay happy, Scorpio, because it's, I felt like this too. You're restricting yourself in some ways. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to be so protective, but you may you may want to be. The last card is the Two of Swords that comes up, and this is about two people. Are you in an organization working out the details? It could be a contract, and it could be if you are seeking employment, or if you are going somewhere different than where you are, then you're really having to hash things out. It's not easy. It's working out details. It's getting the vacation time straight, or the bonuses if you're a salesperson, commissions. It might be that you're going to stay where you are, but you need to work for less money, or they're asking you to work for less money. So hopefully that's not the case, but that may come up for some of you, and that may prompt you to look for something different. That may be why he's so guarded here, because this is about your work, and this is about negotiation, or hashing things out. It's interesting that this really wonderful card comes up. I mean, this celebration card comes up in the midst of this other kind of working out your thinking, working out your work and your negotiations. But this could be about getting together with friends and family, and like I said, just having something during this second part of December to really celebrate and be happy about. Let's pull some clarification cards. All right, so I have two that wanted to come up right off the bat. The Ten of Rods. Okay, well, a lot of you are really working towards a goal. You have a goal in mind. Let's put it that way. As you can see, he has all these burdens. This is the Hanson Roberts deck. It's a different deck. I like to use a different deck for clarification. But anyway, he has all his experiences, and he's carrying these on his back, and he's wanting to get to this purple mountain and this beautiful setting back here. So he has a goal in mind. And so I feel like a lot of you know where you want to be. Five of Swords. Don't you love it? Okay, so this is about someone who has drawn the line in the sand and been maybe somewhat harsh about it. It could be a boss. It could be a supervisor, someone you work with. And they're saying, no, this is how things are going to be. And I'm saying that in relationship to your work because of this one card coming up and then this negotiating. It can be about a love or a romantic situation. Maybe maybe some of you are separating, or the two of you have drawn your own lines in the sand because it looks like someone gets hurt. Someone is hurt and this guy's like, no, I'm the winner. It's going to go my way. So I hope that's not you that's hurt, Scorpio. But it looks at least like that's gone on. But, then the Two of Cups comes up. So there has been of like minds. Maybe you've been in a relationship of like minds. And then this has caused you to see things differently. They have their backs away from each other. So it could be that it felt like a really loving relationship and then things fell apart. Or maybe things fell apart and then you're getting back together. And the Ace of Pentacles comes up. So you've been looking for new ways of making money. If this needs to work out. So this could lead to new ways of making money, even if it's a hobby or something that you want to do on the side, because the Four of Rods says, you're earning the fruits of your labor. You're seeing the fruits of your labor. So this feels like past, wow. This feels like past goals right here. I'm feeling like this guy who's trying to get to this purple mountain, this is what's on top. In fact, okay, I'm going to look how the castle is here, and then the castle is right behind. I honestly have never noticed that, but I felt like he was moving forward towards this castle, and these women are outside of the castle. There's the wreath for celebration. They're nicely dressed. They're there. They are here. So that's been your goal, is to feel secure, safe at home. Interesting. I always get excited when I notice something new. Okay, and so what came up is the Eight of Swords in this deck too. So this has been a lot about your thinking, and maybe you have felt like there's been delays. That's interesting. It came up here in reverse, and then it came up again as a clarification card in this different deck. And see how she's tied, and she has the bandana around her eyes and the swords. Like she wants to get back to she wants to turn around and go to this castle. This castle is this castle seems to be the goal. All right. So, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and draw these two other cards. This is the card that says let go of limiting beliefs, restrictions, some people say addictions, whatever, negative beliefs. And yeah, again, blinders on. Interesting. This is the Two of Swords. So wanting to make a decision, what's in my best interest, and going with this water is about her emotions. She too is tied up, but this is about a decision where this is just thinking, I can't move forward. This is about not making any decision, period. Just feeling like, you're in a flux and you just don't want to do anything at the present moment. So let go of those limiting beliefs. See what comes up for you. The Ace of Cups says new beginnings that make your heart sing. All right. So interesting, some of the clarification cards that came up for you as well, Scorpio. I know this video is running long. I was attempted to do yours a couple different times, and the camcorder was shutting off on me, and so I took that as a sign not to continue. And then when I drew the cards again, it was pretty much the same thing. So I'm feeling like these messages are meant to be heard at specific times for some of you. So let me go ahead and add up the cards. 8 and 3 is 11. And 9 is 20, 22. Let me add those up again. 2 and 9 is 11. 3 is 14. 14 and 8 is 22. And 22 in numerology is a master number. 22 is about people that are life paths, where there's 22 are born on the 22nd. They're very good with connecting other people. They're very diplomatic and patient and peaceful. So I'd really like to see you guys, when I draw out the 2 in numerology, to me sometimes it looks like a swan. So stay peaceful, stay diplomatic, go with the flow. Because I do feel like that if you do stay the course, that you'll see a different light. And in the traditional tarot, the 4, which there's not a 22 in the traditional tarot, it goes to 21. So then you'd add the 2 2s together, and of course that's 4, and that's the Emperor card. So the Emperor card is about a father figure or someone in authority. You know, that came up earlier when I was talking about limiting beliefs, about an authoritative figure. So just maybe look back at your past. Think of someone who could have been a father or a teacher, a clergyman, just anyone in authority, an uncle, anybody that, you know, maybe something was said to you and it just, I mean, it could be a woman too, but we're talking about the Emperor. So the Emperor usually is a man or a father figure, but just someone that said something to you and it didn't feel right, and it's been with you for all this time. And it's time to let it go. Time to celebrate who you are. Who you are, Scorpio. This is a cup card. This is you. So celebrate that second chakra.